welcome back to the YouTube channel for the Renaissance English History Podcast. My name is Heather. I've been podcasting on Tudor England since 2009 with my show, making it the original Tudor History Podcast. On this channel, I put all of my episodes as well as tons of extra content like this video right here. Today, we're going to go down a little bit of an internet rabbit hole and look at items that belong to Henry VIII and Elizabeth I, Mary Queen of Scots, and Katherine of Aragon, specifically cloth items. So I was going through looking at stuff on the internet and people talking about clothing that had belonged to Elizabeth I or clothing that had belonged to Katherine of Aragon and why there wasn't much left. And it's really hard with fabrics to have any fabric left that belonged to any of these monarchs because fabric would be reused. So Elizabeth I, when she died, she had something like 2,000 gowns in her inventory. But Anne of Denmark used a lot. They would have been reworked. And so none of her gowns remain. There was one gown, and we're going to talk about it, that was later resurfaced as the Bacton altar cloth in 2015. They recognized it from a painting. It wasn't a world in which you could just go to Target or Old Navy and buy more clothing really easily, right? Stuff was expensive, even for monarchs, especially like cloth of gold, cloth of silver. Stuff cost a fortune. And so you would reuse it. You would give it away as gifts. You would repurpose the cloth to be altar cloths. So the idea of having a gown that belonged to Elizabeth, we just don't have any. But we do have some pieces of cloth and some clothing that belonged to Henry and Elizabeth and Mary Queen of Scots, and also some embroidery that Katherine of Aragon had done. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen and we're going to go through the internet rabbit hole together and look at these things, okay? All right, let me share my screen. Okay, so the first one that we are going to look at here is the Bacton altar cloth. So this was found in St. Faith's Church in Bacton in Hertfordshire, and it was just known as a beautiful altar cloth that had been there for centuries, but then it was recognized as being from this painting. So I'm going to zoom in, see the cloth, the pattern in this painting is the same in the rainbow portrait, is the same as what is in the Bacton altar cloth. They've done some analysis and they were able to trace the provenance of it. And it was actually displayed next to the rainbow portrait when it first went on display at Hampton Court in 2019, which is super cool. So this is actually the only known surviving dress of Elizabeth I that we have. And it came to Bacton through Blanche Parry, one of Elizabeth's most senior attendants. And Elizabeth was known to give her old gowns, give her old clothing. It's just kind of a mystery because she had already died by the time the Bacton altar cloth was created. But the theory is that some of Elizabeth's belongings were packed up after her death and before the arrival of James I, and one of her ladies of the bedchamber sent the dress to Bacton where Blanche had been buried. Maybe even Elizabeth had wished it to be like that as well. And this is the tomb here of Blanche Parry in Bacton, and she's actually featured with Elizabeth in the tomb as well, or Elizabeth isn't in the tomb, but she's featured prominently on the tomb, showing what good friends they were. So the Bacton altar cloth, and I got this off of Just History Posts, so you can check that out. I'll link to it if you want to read more about it. So that's the Bacton altar cloth. So next up, these are gloves that belonged to Elizabeth I. Supposedly, these are the gloves that she wore at her coronation, and they are in the Ashmolean Museum in Oxford. Look at how long and slender her fingers were. I bet she would have been a really good violinist. So yeah, they are at the Ashmolean Museum, gloves that Elizabeth I wore at her coronation. Very, very cool. So those are two things that had belonged to Elizabeth, the Bacton altar cloth and then these. Next up, something that belonged to Katherine of Aragon. This is the Winchcombe St. Peter's Church altar frontal. And supposedly, Katherine of Aragon did the embroidery for this. Let's zoom in. Isn't that amazing? So a piece of cloth that supposedly Katherine of Aragon had stitched when she was living at Sudley Castle. They say that she sewed the panels together and then added some extra embroidery like her pomegranate, which was her symbol of Catherine. And this is at St. Peter's Church in Winchcombe in Gloucestershire. So you can check that out if you're ever in the Cotswolds. Speaking of embroidery, these are some panels at the V&A that Mary Queen of Scots supposedly did with Bess of Hardwicke. It says Elizabeth Talbot, Countess of Shrewsbury. So look at this. This was when Mary Queen of Scots was in custody with Bess's husband, George Talbot, the Earl of Shrewsbury. And they would sit and embroider together. And Mary Queen of Scots would often send these embroidery pieces off as gifts, especially to Elizabeth. They look like kind of like counted cross stitch, don't they? Zoom in on this. So there's a unicorn. If that looks like it says rhinoceros, but I don't know what that is. Tiger, dolphin. Sometimes is that like a pelican? A bird of America. A bird of America. And some honeybees. So these are at the V&A if you are in London and want to see some stitching done by Mary Queen of Scots and Bess of Hardwicke, who I absolutely love. Bess of Hardwicke. She is my history hero, one of them. And you can see some of them actually have the monogram of Mary Queen of Scots. And there it says George Elizabeth Shrewsbury. So we know that that was Bess of Hardwicke as well. This is the symbol of a phoenix here, probably something that would have been special to Mary to think about, like the phoenix rising from the ashes. So really beautiful. This is the Marian hanging, counted cross stitch, done by Mary Queen of Scots. Super cool. Now, something that belonged to Henry VIII. This is Henry VIII's cap of maintenance. What was a cap of maintenance? A cap of maintenance was a cap that sort of represented the state, a cap that represented the position of the monarch. So it would be held in front of the monarch in processions or when representing the monarch. So Henry actually sent this to the mayor of Waterford, and he said, "Here is a remembrance, an evident token of our favors. We have sent you by this bringer a cap of maintenance to be borne in times thought necessary before you, the mayor, being the officer of the said city." So sometimes, if needed, the cap would go in front of the mayor as they were walking through processions. And we see a picture. Let me pull up this window. So this is a painting of Henry's coronation, the procession of Henry's coronation. And let me zoom in. Look right here is a cap of maintenance and the sword of state right in front of him. So there is a similar cap, trimmed in ermine, and then the sword of state. So Henry's that we still have has these beautiful Tudor roses embroidered around them. Also, Margaret Beaufort symbol is on here as well. Look at that Tudor rose right at the top. So that was sent right around 1536 to Waterford in Ireland. And you can still see it at the Waterford Treasures Museum in Waterford if you are ever there. And finally, a shoe belonging to Mary Queen of Scots. So this was supposedly worn by Mary on her visit to Jedburgh and was preserved there. And look at that heel. Apparently, Mary had said when she was imprisoned later that her shoes would be a good place to hide correspondence in the heel. If they could hollow it out, that they could put correspondence there and, wouldn't be suspicious then. So Mary definitely liked a higher heel. Look at that. I don't know about the arch support on that. But anyway, so she wore that. And the legend is that it apparently fell off of her feet, was preserved by the family. And there you go. The shoe designer is this Freeman Alizard, who was a French shoemaker based in Edinburgh. So there you have it, Mary Queen of Scots' slipper. So I hope you enjoyed that internet rabbit hole dive into items that belonged to Elizabeth and Mary Queen of Scots and Henry's hat and the altar pieces and the embroidery, all of that. Very cool, huh? Have you ever seen any of these items? Let me know if you have. I would love to know about it. All right, friend, I will be back again tomorrow with another video. If you made it to the end of this and you liked it, I sure would appreciate a press of that like button. It helps to feed the algorithm and get our content to even more people. And I hope I earned your subscription to my channel where I put out videos like this on the regular. If you want to keep binging Tudor content, here's a video right here I did on castles that belong to Henry VIII, some of Henry VIII's estates. You might enjoy that. And here's one that the YouTube algorithm thinks you'll like. Thanks so much for being here. You are deeply loved. I'm so glad I shared the planet with you. I'll be back soon. Don't forget to drink your water. Bye-bye.